Thanks for coming. A couple things about last week. I thought there was really good effort. I think the guys played hard. We got to play smarter a little bit. Thought, from the discipline standpoint, we only had one penalty, and that's a real plus, and hopefully we can keep playing with that kind of discipline. We controlled the ball, the tempo of the game, which is an important feature. Still giving up too many big plays. That has to, we've got to do a better job there. We also made some big plays defensively. So, those are some of the things that we did better. I think in all three phases, we got to do a better job, protecting the quarterback, and that is an everybody deal. I mean, that is receivers, route running, that is up front, that is running backs, that is the quarterback. So, it's everybody's fault when he's on his back. So we got to do a better job there, and we've talked about that, obviously. A little uncharacteristic for us was the kicking game wasn't as good as we expect it to be, and so that's something that as a team and as a staff we'll work our butts off on. Looking ahead, obviously Friday night, it's an early week for both teams. It's start of the Mountain West Conference. Excited about that. Boise State's a good football team. They've played some good opponents. When you look at Central Florida, look at Washington, they've had some challenges there, but they've done a nice job, and we're excited to have a great crowd on Friday night.
Question about Made. You've been around a lot of quarterbacks here on this campus. He's taken a lot of hits, a lot of sacks, keeps getting up off the ground. His compete level seems to be off the charts.
Well, he's very competitive, Maxwell, when you look at what he did playing defense, and it's funny because looking at some of last year's game, from watching our defense, he's in the game. And then you look at the special teams, he's in the game, but he's not playing quarterback. So I think his competitiveness is something that sticks out. And, I think there's a couple, when you look at last week, there's a couple of those that he would like to, get out of the pocket a little sooner or get rid of it a little sooner.
Looking back at last year's games against Boise, obviously the second half, they won that 35-0. Looking back at that tape, what do you think went wrong defensively?
They played really well, and we didn't play a second half defense. I mean, it's pretty much that simple. Changed quarterbacks. I think he had something to do with it, and we weren't sure if we were going to get him or not. So the quarterback runs, that piece of it, we didn't. I think we prepared, but not as much as in depth as we needed to.
They have a new offensive coordinator this year. They're using some more wildcat formations. Do you see a ton of difference between what they ran last year to now?
There's the same plays in there. I don't think they're gonna. They got a quarterback who's really proficient of running the ball, scrambling, doing those kind of things. The quarterback design runs. So I think they'll stay with the basics of what they do with it.
Is the priority to stop his run first?
Priority is always to stop everybody's run game. So whether it's him or the running back or who it is, we've got to do a great job in the running back. Yeah, and they're talented. They got good backs, and Genty, I think. I mean, he's pretty good. And Helani, he's been banged up a little bit, hasn't played nearly the number of snaps, but this guy's he's really good.
I asked about stopping Green's run because it seems like he's still a young quarterback, and maybe you can take more advantage when he's passing the ball.
I don't know. I think he's 53 or 54%, in the passing game. He throws the deep ball extremely well. And the screen game for him has been big, been huge. And, we got hurt in some jailbreaks last week, so that's something that we'll look forward to.
Can you make him make some bad decisions though? I think he has 4 interceptions and 3 touchdowns, so.
Yeah.
Maybe you can make him.
I hope, we're going to try and do that to every quarterback.
Three of the defenses you played in FBS, I think they're top 14 in scoring defense this year. You guys have had opportunities, you've had some drops. Does that give the offense some confidence heading into conference play that they've had?
Yeah, I don't think any of them know that statistic you just gave us, but, because I didn't know it also. But I do know that, I think the offense is coming together. We were pretty good between the 35 and the 35, but we weren't very good in the red zone. And we had some opportunities to get it, and then we get back into it, and then the long jailbreaks screen, and so the thing I liked is how we responded after that.
Brady, I'm sure you don't want to head into conference play having lost 2 straight, but on the flip side of that coin, do you like heading into conference play having played 2 really good teams?
Yeah, I think so, and I think we played really 4 pretty good teams. I mean, OU just beat Iowa State, Ohio University. I mean, they're a good program. They do a great job. I don't know if their education's very good, getting out of there, but
Better than Ball State.
but I'm not going to argue with you. But I think it's the progression. Is to, especially with a young team, is to get better every day, get better every week. I think we've done that. Now, it's you're in the league, and the way the conference is going to be determined, every game matters a ton.
Brady, talking about how your goal is to win the conference every year, do you like where your team's at heading into conference play, or do you guys still?
Yeah, I do. I do. Would I like us to play a little more cleaner in some, not miss that block, not miss the hole, not miss the tackle or leverage the ball, all that stuff. I wish we would be a little better at it, but I think we're a work in progress still.
Does McAllister cause real matchup problems because he's so big and such a long strider?
Yeah, well, he's big, and depending, you look at Des Malone's a big guy. He's not quite that big, but he's big for a corner. Tumlin is long, and he, gives you a lot of range. So he's, can match up pretty good. The way the guys handled really a couple smaller receivers last week, I think our guys match up pretty good with them.
What have you seen here from Breon Penny with some opportunities, in the receiving game? What type of relationship does he have with Jalen? It seems like he continues to come along.
Well, I think Breon, I thought, obviously played his best game, but he played more snaps than normal, and he's earning those snaps, every day. So I think part of that is where he, from a mental standpoint, has put himself, and the trust that he's got from Jay to Moose and from Coach Lindley. I think that's been important.
When you say mental standpoint, is it just focusing on routes more, or what in particular?
Yeah, I think it's that, making sure that your route running is as precise as you can and execute it.
Last week you mentioned that you've had an opportunity to play a lot of defensive guys through non-conference play to help with the evaluation. Do you think their rotations will shorten as you get into conference play?
I think some do. I think, we've got an idea on some of the younger guys, and to be honest with you, some of the younger guys may get more snaps.
Is Redmond playing at the peak of what you expected in this new look offense?
Yeah, I think he's awfully talented for us. I think from, a guy who's willing to stick his nose in there and block and finish on blocks to, route running. And then he becomes a little bit of a mismatch because of his height, So depending on how people want to play him.
4 games into this, what have you liked the most in 4 games into this? What really worries you or disappoints you?
I think the thing I like most about our team is we're growing up daily. We're growing up, from game to game. I think, we got to continue to improve for me to get very excited.
Oregon State finally broke through and scored on a gadget play. Boise State likes to play a lot of those, and part of that seemed to be the aggressive stop the run focus. I mean, what kind of coaching do you do, or what kind of thought do you have?
Well, everybody's got a job. I think, Oregon State, the throwback to the offensive tackle, if you watch the play itself, at some point, you've got to, you've got to react to what you get. And, we usually you get trick plays when you're playing a defense that runs to the football. And that's one of the things that we've done over the years, as well as anybody, is we run to the football. And so that's usually when you get those kind of trick plays run against you.
So Boise State likes to run those kinds of things. What kind of thoughts do you have?
Well, you can't change what you're doing. We're not going to tell guys to slow down and don't run to the ball. We're not going to tell guys not to chase contain and chase the contain at a level. I mean, all those things are part of it. So from that standpoint, the things that, that bother you are when they take their eyes off of, the why or whatever it might be. There's always a key.
Cyrus and Moon have arrived as linebackers. Are you pleased with what you've seen?
Yeah, I think Cyrus has really played good football, early in the season so far, and he's really, he's physical at the point of attack when he gets there, so it kind of sends a message in how he plays, and I think his leadership has been really good also.
Going back to the throwback, what's the key that they missed on that allowed it?
Well, usually a guy's gonna block you, right? Usually that's gonna happen, and the guy was running away from blocking you. So, but you're on your players to chase the ball, right? Well, the ball was over there, so.
So somebody has the assignment, though, of sticking with that.
Not really.
No?
We're not taking the tackle man to man.
But if you see him leaking out, kind of-
Well, at some point, you want to be able to, react.
Brady, are you confident now that you can start playing people of your own level, that this thing's gonna grow quicker?
Well, I think the 2 teams we played, well, the 4 teams we played, I think they all 4 were good football teams. And they're all 4 good football teams, in various parts of their team are better than others. But, the Mountain West Conference is a damn good conference, so there's damn good football. And, Boise is very, very similar to what we are, and how we play, and I would say reputation, and those things. It's going to be fun.
How much has come up in the locker room that they were picked to finish first? You guys picked to finish.
I'm not in our locker room, so I don't know. there may be some things talked about that way, but, you know, we just gotta worry about us and playing as fast and physical as we can.
What's your thoughts on playing a Friday night game instead of Saturday?
Well, the only thing I don't like about it is high school football. I never have. But, you know, Ball State, we played Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 2 Fridays, a Thursday. I mean, the last 8 games were, I think we played 2 on a Saturday. Everything else was midweek, which I don't mind at all. I don't like playing on Fridays because of high school football.
Do you have, is that normally an opportunity to do any recruiting or looking around at the talent at the local level, or?
Well, when we're allowed to go out, yeah, our guys will be doing that when we're playing on Saturdays.
Or when you have a bye?
Yeah, I mean, we'll work all that in.
Brady, you made a comment last week, and we didn't have time to expand on it, about your Zoom call with all the fellow coaches in the Mountain West about, I guess, about the NIL, or maybe the transfer portal. What's the general consensus of all your brethren as to how the conference can handle the situations that we put in, either financially or getting players cherry-picked off the rosters?
Well, I mean, I think we all want to do that also, you know, if it calls for it, as far as the transfer portal and, you know, finding guys from different places, that's, you know, in the NIL, I think the best thing I can say, you know, we talked about with the commissioner, you know, she talked a little bit about where we stand as far as conference-wise, which, you know, we're all happy to be in a conference and have that ability. You know, right now, Washington State and Oregon State, they don't know where they're gonna be and when they're gonna end up, and I have no idea. But, you know, as far as, you have to adapt, you know, you have to adapt, because it's not going away, and if we don't adapt and, you know, work through the NIL and work through the transfer portal, you know, it's been good for us in some ways with, Mark Redmond and Coop, you know, to mention 2. Last year, obviously, Justice Tavai was a huge help for us. But, you know, Lee, I think, you know, in the era that we're in with college football, you know, we've just got to be able to adapt as best we can.
When you see Colorado grab more than 80 guys out of the portal, is that unique to them, or does that give you more positive thoughts?
I think there's been some others who have done the same. Well, Idaho State was at our level, for sure. But there's others who have done that.
Does that change your thinking about using it more?
Well, we're going to use it if we can take advantage of it, right? So, I mean, we have not stopped looking for it.
But I mean, you guys have got like a half a dozen each year. Would you think of getting a dozen or 2 dozen, or is that?
I think it's what your needs are. You know, and then you got to get the right ones.
Are you noticing any separation because of the advantages the bigger schools have?
They've always had that.
Anything else?
There's always been that.
Coach, looking at the media for Boise State, their leading tackler, Marco Notarani, a local kid.
Yeah, Torrey Pines.
Number 53, you see the film on him, what stands out to you and your staff?
I really haven't seen him yet because I have not looked at their defense yet. I usually go offense first. So he's a good football player. We recruited him. He's a good football player. We liked him. All right. Thank you.